my energy's up. Again, when my wife and I got married, this is the outfit I wore for our photos, for our engagement photos. I haven't been able to touch them for 15 years. And so after the final weigh out, we went out on a date, and I thought, you know what, I'll try it. And so I went in the closet, put them on, and to see the look on her face when I had them on, and she's like, you haven't been in those for 15 years. And I mean, in fact, they were probably looser than they were then.
Welcome to Beyond the Scale, the show where everyday heroes share their stories on how they turn their lives around for the healthier. I'm Coach Brittany, and today I am super excited because I have one of our top 10 finalists from the New Year Challenge, Jordan Thomas. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to have you on.
We're excited to be here.
So you're a top 10 finalist for the New Year Challenge that we did franchise-wide. But before we get into anything about that and your transformation and just your life, I want to play a game with you.
Okay.
It's called Rapid Fire.
Okay.
So basically, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You're just going to give me the first answer that comes to your mind.
All right.
Okay, here we go. If you had to choose one animal to help you win a fight, which would you choose?
Probably a bulldog. They get a hold of it and they don't ever let go.
If you could eat one food item for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Steak.
How do you like your steak cooked? Just curious.
Medium rare.
Okay. What would you do if you were invisible for a day?
If I was invisible for a day, I'd like to be a fly on the wall in many different places.
Okay. Who's the funniest person you know?
Probably the funniest person I know is my best friend Brandon from Idaho.
Okay. If you had $1 million to build anything you wanted, what would you build and why?
I would build a cabin in the woods for my wife and my family so we could get away from the troubles of life and go relax. Probably have a pool, hot tub, everything they want.
That sounds relaxing. That sounds really relaxing.
Yes.
Describe your life using one word.
Exciting.
Okay. Well, that concludes Rapid Fire. Thank you for playing. Now it's time to get into the fun stuff and hear all about your transformation and how this past 8 weeks went for you. So first, I want to know, what were your results from the 8-week challenge?
My results from the 8-week challenge, I lost 36.2 pounds. I lost right around 18% of my body weight.
Dang, 18%.
I think it was 8.9% body fat I lost. And I was able to fit in a lot of clothes that I haven't been into for 15 years.
That is amazing. Congratulations on that. That is huge for, that's a lot of weight that, you are no longer carrying around that you were just 8 weeks ago.
Oh, it is. It's amazing. I go get some 20-pound dumbbells and pick them up and jump and think, wow, that.
Yeah, right?
And drop it, I think, I got wings.
There you go. And so when you got the call that you were a top 10 finalist, what emotions did you feel? What was going on through your mind? Were you shocked? What was it for you?
You know, that's an interesting story. So where I work, we have very little phone reception.
Okay.
So I missed some calls from California, and I thought it was some telemarketers.
That's what all the finalists are saying.
Exactly. So I just ignored them. And when I got back into service, I had a message. So I'll listen to the message. And it was headquarters saying, you better call us back tomorrow. It's really important. So I called back in the morning, and I was excited. I don't show my emotions very well with my family or anyone, but I was excited.
Nice. That's got to be huge. That's a big win inside for you.
It's a huge win. I mean, you start a challenge, you think, if I lose some weight, I'll just feel good with what I've done and accomplished. And then when you get a call like that, it's amazing.
Yeah. So you won first place at your location, Farmington Fit Body Boot Camp.
Yep.
And then you finalized top 10, thousands of challengers involved. And here you are.
And here I am.
Here you are in sunny San Diego, California right now.
Sunny California, and still amazed.
So you started this 8-week challenge. Were you at Fit Body before the 8-week challenge?
I wasn't. A long story there. Probably a year before the challenge, I started getting emails about this Fit Body Boot Camp, and junk. And I did that for a year, and then I decided, you know what, I'll give it a shot and try it. So I joined right up for the challenge and went from there.
And were you active before Fit Body?
Active as in how?
As in, did you go to the gym? Did you just work out on your
You
own,
know,
run, anything like that?
I tried some of the big box gyms and done that for a while and wasn't motivated by that. I always thought, in my lifestyle, I'm active and always moving. I have a Fitbit, and so I always beat my wife on the Fitbit deal and thought, I'm doing good, but I kept gaining weight. So.
What do you think it was due to? Was it just time catching up with you and like not being active enough, or was it your eating habits?
I think a lot of it was my eating habits. When I started on the diet plan with the Fit Body Challenge, my portion controls were out of control.
Really?
They were huge. I started adding what I had on the plate into the program, and I'd look at the calories and think, I didn't eat that much, but it was huge. It was huge. Portion control was non-existent.
And was that something that like it's always been portion control, or did something like build up that you like overly ate?
No. I've always had a high metabolism, and obviously my metabolism slowed down, but I kept my eating habits up, and it just kept catching up to me and past me.
So when you started into the challenge, you started cutting down your portions.
Correct.
And so did you find yourself hungry a lot, or?
For the first couple weeks, yes. Old habits are hard to break. So I'd get my portion, I'd eat it, and start looking around the table looking for more. And my wife would say, remember, that's all you can eat. So, eating more meals during the day, smaller portions, helped drag that out for me.
Okay.
So.
How fast did you start getting comfortable with that new eating program?
It took me probably about 2 weeks. At work, I was sitting in a tractor, so I'd get my lunch all prepped up and sit in there and eat it. And sometimes I'd eat it all before noon. Sometimes I'd stretch it out. But about 2 weeks before I was comfortable with the portions and stretching it out through the day.
Okay. And now, was it easy for you at home? Like, was your wife on board with the same type of meal plan, or was she eating different things?
The family eats a lot of they eat healthy, but they eat different things.
Okay.
And so I would eat portions of what had been prepared for the day.
Got it.
I'd have to watch it.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And then, so Fit Body Bootcamp, you started with the challenge. You said you were getting emails from them for about a year, just kind of pushing them aside.
Yep.
Had you looked into joining like a boot camp like that in the past?
Not really. I talked with the owners, and we're still trying to figure out how my email got on there. I'd never really looked at it. Just seen them and read through them and then discarded them.
And then, but you did try big box gyms. Why do you think that didn't work for you, or you didn't stick to it?
You go there, if you don't have friends, you go there alone, and they're huge, and I know the workout equipment, but you're there alone. There's no support group. There tends to be cliques and groups, and not being part of one, you just kind of lose focus and lose concentration on what you're trying to do.
So would you say you have a support system now, though, when it comes to fitness?
Oh yeah, I think the support system is huge between my Fit Body family there, my kids and family at home, huge support group.
Would you say you would have been as successful at this challenge without that support group?
I don't think so. No, not at all.
What does the support group do for you? Like,
in my instance, I would get an email or a text from the coaches or from one of the owners. My wife, she'd shoot me a text and say, hey, I noticed, your clothes are a little looser on you today. It's looking good. You're doing great. Just all the encouraging things along the way.
And now, did your wife participate with you, or?
No,
just you?
No. When I started, she was 6 months pregnant, so she wasn't doing that. She would like to join once she gets settled down and start getting back into shape, lose some of those baby pounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's exciting. Now, what was your biggest struggle throughout the whole challenge that you had to overcome?
The biggest struggle during the challenge I had to overcome would probably be obviously the portions and diet, but my time. I farm. I work up on a farm, and so we work from sun up to sundown. So I had to find a time that didn't conflict with work. So I'd wake up at 4, go in, hit the gym at 5:30, do that, and then hurry and get up on the farm and work all day. you know, 12, 14-hour days.
Those are long days.
They're long days.
Those are long, and it's a lot of physical work, right?
The position I'm in, it's not so much physical, but a
Okay.
lot of time on the
Got it.
phone, different things like that.
And so, do you find that from working those long hours, squeezing in a workout now, that you are more tired through the day, or do you have more energy?
I have a lot more energy. In fact, during the challenge, I'd get up early, go do my workout, and then depending on when we got done for the day, if we had a short day, I'd go in and try and do another one. So I'd get some two-a-days
You're a warrior.
But my energy level just
Yeah.
took off. I usually operate on about 5 hours of sleep, and I don't need a nap in the afternoon now. I feel like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, just keep going and going and going,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So I want to know what your first experience with Fit Body was. What was it like for your very first workout?
I showed up. I'd just done the weigh-in on Saturday. Showed up Monday morning for my first session, and I got there early. I don't like to be late. And I walked in, and there's all these ladies there. There was one guy off in the corner, and I felt out of place. But you know, the coaches are like, "Hey, come on in. We'll get started. We'll do our warm-ups." But yeah, I felt uncomfortable at first.
Yeah.
But they welcomed me in and made me feel like I was supposed to be there.
How long did it take for you to feel comfortable?
Probably about a week. I figured if I could make it through the first week, I'd be good. And that urge to leave, or you know, once the pattern was established, I was good to go.
So you set a goal to at least finish out a week of it, and then by that time you're like, okay, I can keep going.
Well, you know, I figured I'm paying for this,
Right?
So I might as well do it. And so yeah, I figured I'll get through the first week, see how I'm feeling, and the second week came and went, and I was hooked.
Throughout the challenge, did you ever find yourself wanting to quit, even if it was just like a little bit?
Probably during that first week. After
Just the
that,
first week?
I started seeing results. I started feeling better, and yeah, there was no turning back.
What was the first thing you noticed, the first change that you noticed?
I could bend over and put on my shoe or tie up my shoe without having to take a deep breath. That was uncomfortable, so that was nice.
Nice. And now we like to call them non-scale victories, but do you see a lot of those now? Now that, I mean, obviously you've lost a lot of weight, but like what other non-scale victories have you seen aside from being able to bend over and tie your shoes?
My energy's up. When my wife and I got married, this is the outfit I wore for our photos, for our engagement photos. I haven't been able to touch them for 15 years. And so after the final weigh out, we went out on a date, and I thought, you know what, I'll try it. And so I went in the closet, put them on, and to see the look on her face when I had them on, and she's like, you haven't been in those for 15 years. And I mean, in fact, they were probably looser than they were then.
Dang.
And so that was a huge non-scale victory.
Definitely. What did that do for your self-confidence when you were able to put it on and feel that?
I've got a goal poster, and so I walked over by the goal poster, and she took a picture of me with the same outfit, and it was huge because that's something I wanted to get back to for probably 10 or 12 years.
Yeah. What would you say to someone that may be on the fence of wanting to start, you know, their fitness journey, whatever that may mean for them? What advice would you give them?
Just do it. Find a place, you know, like we've got the Fit Family deal going on. Find a place, get in there, and just do it. In fact, I've got some friends, and they're older gentlemen that want to get into shape, and so they fit in the Fit Body Forever group.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, they're still working on, one signed up, and others are still thinking about it, and they keep commenting, you look great, you look awesome, you have lots of energy, come and do it. So just try it. If you try something once, what's a bad thing that can happen?
Yeah, exactly.
Just go do it.
Just do it. So was it because of you why they all wanted to start, you know, getting fit?
Yes, and because they'd make comments, what are you doing? I had one guy, he said, what did you do? You get some bugs? You got something in your stomach? And I said, no, this is what I've done. And so it was a huge deal because the last time I'd seen him was probably 6 or 7 months ago. And so when we met face to face, I had changed that much, and I didn't realize I had changed that much till he said what he said. So it's been fun to see people's faces when I meet them again.
And now, looking at your before and after pictures, Like, there's got to be a huge difference there. How rewarding is it for you to look at those pictures? Like, did you think like that was even possible?
I didn't. Again, when I joined the challenge and the group, I thought, lose some weight, I'll feel better about myself. But now when I look at them, I look at my before picture and I look like the Michelin Man, and then I look at my after and I'm blown away at the transformation, the difference in how I look.
Yeah. And your wife, she was obviously a great support system for you. She couldn't participate because of her pregnancy at that time. But was she active before? Like, did you guys, I know you were a little bit active, but how, was she active at all before?
Yes, she's been extremely active. We have 8 children now, and so she's, from the time 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, she's running, trying to keep up with the kids, get them to practice and school and everything. So she's very active.
So yeah, more power to her. That is a lot of work, but really nobody has any excuses if you guys, she takes care of 8 kids, you work long hours, come home to the entire family, but you guys can still make time she's gonna start going to make time for workouts. But you've been doing the 30-minute workouts, seeing results. You're able to do the meal planning and eating correctly.
Yes, and the kids, they're starting, they're active, they're involved in sports, but we've always ate healthy again, but not as clean as we should be.
Right.
And so our diet's changing, our grocery store shopping's changing, and the kids are becoming more involved in it.
Which is awesome. That's awesome that you could teach them now while they're young. They see you guys, you're able to accomplish these things. It's one thing in fitness, but I think it also bleeds into all other areas of life.
Exactly.
So what do you think makes you different?
What makes me different? I'm probably was the stereotypical farmer. Long hours, eat whenever, wherever. And obviously the family. Got a huge family. This day and age, I think that sets us apart. We go to Sam's Club and people are like, "Are those all yours?" We're like, "Yeah." There's perfect stair steps every year and a half, 2 years. And so it's fun. Sometimes we'll line them up and march them in order as we're going, and just to play with people a little bit. But I think that sets us apart. Farmers tend not to exercise a lot because they're always busy, always doing things. And then big families, it seems like there's not a lot of time for me time because you're involved with the whole family. So I think that sets me apart quite a bit from different people.
So would you say you've always had a positive mentality?
Yes, I think I have. I've done my best. We all have our bad days, but
Of course.
tried to look for the best in everything, the disappointments, the setbacks. Tried to look at the silver lining in the cloud. But yeah, I think I've tried to stay pretty positive.
Okay. And what does living beyond the scale mean to you?
There's a lot of things that come to mind in living beyond the scale. Especially for the challenge, we were focused on the scale. Okay, am I making progress? Am I losing weight? And during that time, we were developing eating habits, exercise habits. I've always been goal-oriented, but that was brushed up on to set smaller goals and take those small victories and stack them up to show the big victories. And now, living beyond the scale, to me means I've developed habits. I've become a different person. And as I've done that, I want to help others, find and see the things that I've done and accomplished and help them get there and help push them along in a way so that we can all obviously be healthier, develop friendships, and be successful in our lives.
Yeah.
So, with my friends, beyond the scale is, I found something, let me show you what it's about and see if we can all improve.
Absolutely, because it seems like you were already, doing a lot of good stuff in your life, like eating pretty healthy, being kind of active and things like that, but you took it one step further and realized that there's so much more potential for you out there. There's so much more that you can do. There's so much more that you can accomplish. There's so many more people out there that you can help.
Exactly.
I want to thank you so much for being on today, sharing your story, and I want to congratulate you once again for being one of the top 10 finalists out of 1,000 boot campers. It's really a pleasure to have you on.
Well, thank you for having me on today.
Is there any final parting words that you want to say to any of our listeners out there?
Yes. On Facebook, there's always pictures, and I've seen one that shows this big, tough biker guy and a little girl that says, "Here, we're having tea today." And he says, when she offers you the teacup, you better drink it. And that reminds me of my son before this challenge started. And probably one of the biggest pushes I had was he came up to my wife and I. She was 6 months pregnant, and I was standing by her. He reached up and he patted my stomach, and he says, and he's 3, so he's just starting to talk good. He says, "Hey, Daddy, when are you going to have the baby in your belly? Same time Mom does?" And that hit home to me. I'm like, oh man, I'm embarrassed. And so the challenge come up. I signed up, and I had the baby in my belly before my wife did. So you know, when things like that come up to you in your life, take advantage of them. Let it be a motivator to you to do better and to push yourself.
Absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And for those of you out there that want to work out with Jordan and the rest of the team, make sure you check out Farmington Fit Body Boot Camp. And if you may not be in that area, make sure you go to fitbodybootcamp.com to find a location near you and claim your 3 free workouts. Until next time.